I thank the distinguished gentleman from Maryland for yielding. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic, Marley Marl. Those were the words of the late, great, notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls, Frank White, the king of New York. He died 20 years ago today in a tragedy that occurred in Los Angeles. But his words live on forever. I've got the privilege of representing the district where Biggie Smalls was raised. We know he went from negative to positive and emerged as one of the world's most important hip hop stars. His rags to riches life story is the classic embodiment of the American dream. Biggie Smalls is gone, but he will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, notorious B.I.G.
Talking about politics coming from a view of the streets, you know what I'm saying, dog? We're not coming from professional view. We're not lawyers, none of that shit that's on TV, you know what I'm saying? We come straight from the hood, the hood view, you know? Representation of black people, period, on the bench, because we don't know who Clarence Thomas is representing. He's sitting on the Supreme Court, sitting on a bench, smelling like cocoa butter.
2, 3, 4, 5. We live.
All the way live, you know. You feel me?
Brad B.I.G. Jones.
And I am Tony D, #1 soul brother.
This is Hoodviewpolitics. HVP.
H to the V to the P.
Well, we go in a deep, detailed dive.
D.
Into politics from the hood view. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, that's the only way I know to give it to you.
Yeah, now.
Straight, no chaser, straight from the street, straight from the hood. And you know, we need to give up a hood view, a hood perspective, you know, because there's a lot of people out there don't understand, that need to understand, they should understand, they got to understand, and we got to be the ones to give it to them. So
raw, uncut, baby.
Right. And tell you like it TIE is.
Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight and every other night that you tune in. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Right.
forget, if you disagree with anybody that speaks on this panel.
Oh yeah. Ain't no door. Ain't no closed door. It ain't no opinion that will be turned away. You know, come on in here. We got you covered. Just like life insurance.
Most definitely. You know what I'm saying? Down now. This is not Tuesday as usual. You know what I'm saying? Down?
Oh nah.
But we live.
Yeah, do I got to explain that to y'all again? We are Hoodviewpolitics. We are the booty call of podcasting. That means we'll pop up at any time to get in that ass.
Yeah, now we got a few things we want to talk about today.
Oh my goodness.
We got LeBron.
I don't know what the hell happened today, boy. It's Thursday.
A lot going on here at the show. But I do want to talk about there's a lot going on for the show.
Yeah, this is show enough Thursday edition right here.
But one thing I do want to talk about before we go a whole lot further, right, is the railroad strike thing that's going on. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah.
So,
but they reached a tentative deal, they say.
Yeah, I'm hearing about that today. Yeah, but anybody don't understand that whole thing right there. It's the railroad industry, right, which is real important to America's economy itself. Right?
Correct.
Are on strike now. They on strike now. To be honest with you, I have to understand what they on strike for, like I think sick leave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And paid leave and stuff, right? Now, to the average person listening to that, they'd be like, man, what? But you need those things in your life and a job, right? You need sick leave. You need that because you can't come to work sick. For one, that's for one thing.
And these days with COVID going around, and every time you turn around, it's something new. You got COVID, monkeypox, all types of shit. So why would you want somebody to come to work? You need to get them people that time off. You get their body well, get their mind right, and then then they can make you some money.
That's why I always stress the importance of unions, because they striking because they needed that. Now the Congress itself stepped in because, like I said, this is real important to the economy. They just go on strike, especially during this time of year, it's going to be a problem. So Congress steps in. This is where the Congress step in to put a bill out to stop them from striking. Put it like that.
But not only has the Congress stepped in, but the president has stepped in. He has stepped in and negotiate and throw out some executive orders if that would need be. So,
true.
If we once again tell y'all, if you want to know who looking out for the people, turn on your news. You'll see it. If you want to know who got your interest at heart, turn on the news and look. You got some people. You got some people out here who don't want unions. Republicans, rich people, who don't want people to have sick leave. If you ain't got these things, these people will fire your ass in a minute because you ain't coming to work sick as a dog, and guess it has somebody up in there willing to take your place and probably work at a cheaper rate than you do. Exactly. So you need people, if you want to see who's fighting for you to get you health care, to allow you to love who you want to love or whatever. All you got to do is spend 5 minutes looking at the news and you will see these things.
Now,
clear as day.
Like I said, unions are important, right? But Congress steps in front of the unions. And now this is the key points of the new tentative deal that they struck to avoid the railroad strike, right? Now the House passed it. This was Wednesday.
Yep.
Now it'll force a tentative rail labor agreement and thaw for national strike. Now it was separate votes in the Senate, and 7 days of pay leave to the agreement. Biden has said he's reluctant to override the vote against the contract by some unions, but that a rail shutdown would devastate the economy. Now, what you think about Biden stepping in with the railroads? First of all, like stepping in, the union they voted to strike. Now, everybody don't know what that means. That means within them wherever they working at, within the work environment, everybody that works there has put in the vote to strike. So now you got Biden overriding the workers. Now I want to know how you feel about that, Tony.
See, it's to override the will of the workers. The workers want to strike. Well, really, nobody wants to strike. Let's put it like that. Nobody wants to strike. A strike is always the last resort. Y'all ain't listening. We gonna walk out.
We did that before,
right? But if the president has stepped in and he's through however he does it, negotiations, the executive order, or however they pass, if he given the workers what they want, what they need to avoid a strike, you know, because a railroad strike, like you said, a railroad strike will set the economy back.
Mm-hmm. True.
So I guess it's about the greater good. You know what I'm saying? It's about if you can avoid this and give the workers some satisfaction and something they satisfied with, all the while you is averting something that can be crippling to the economy, because if the railroad shut down, you know, you got a lot of people that travel by train. You know, people don't fly. I ain't getting in no airplane to use planes to me how the motherfucker stay up in the air. If you can't do that, I'm not getting on no plane. So I'm gonna ride by. If I'm traveling by train.
So,
and then you got commerce. So you got a lot of merchandise that and materials that go back and forth across the United States and go to stores and workers and construction, and you know, coal travels by train and all kinds of shit like that.
There's a lot of shit going on by train for sure.
Right, it's a lot of shit going on by train. So a situation is like that. You gotta. It's about the greater good, and I don't see how motherfucking Republicans can cry about that when they gave all that money to bail out the banks when the banks was dead fucking wrong.
All right, so I don't know, man. Like I say, I was in the union. I was a union representative. I worked with the union, and we went on strike before, right?
Yeah,
we went on strike just for this sick leave, right?
Yep.
Identical situation, but I don't agree with Biden stepping in, because unless they could give them a better deal than what they was asking, or the exact same deal that they wanted. Like if he's stepping in just to stop the strike, and
the workers get nothing.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Then if you giving the upper hand to the companies, then we're gonna have a problem, bro.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Because striking is the companies. It's all we have as workers.
Yeah.
That's all we have is the strike. That's our only motherfucking weapon. And we use that, and the government steps in and say, "Nah, we don't want y'all to strike." You gotta give us a sweet.
You gotta
deal.
give us something.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta give us something so sweet.
Yeah, you got to do something there.
Or give us what the fuck we asked for from the company.
That's what I'm saying. Because if Biden stepped in and Congress stepped in, you can't step in without, you know, because basically if you step in, you giving the railroad people what they want, and they want these people back to work. Mm-hmm. So you got to get the workers some. I ain't gonna say some satisfaction. You got to give them a lot of satisfaction.
Exactly. So that's the only thing about the whole thing. I just don't like the fact that Biden stepped in unless he has a plan to give them what they wanted or something better. If you just fucking up the negotiations, this is part of negotiation tactics, striking.
Yeah.
So if you stepping in and fucking up our negotiation tactic, nigga, using the Congress, you better be helping us and not making it worse, because we are already working behind the, you know what I'm saying, the 8-ball against a big ass company. If you step in as the Congress and help these bitch ass niggas, what the hell is the union for then? You feel me? This is what the union for, us to get the strike. You know what I'm saying? Well, striking is real important. And that's the only thing about Biden that stepped into that.
I mean, if you take the one negotiating tactic that they got away, you can't.
Yeah. So, like I said, he sent in. He did send in on the bill that's sick leave.
But they're not getting 7 days, only in 1 day.
But again, this bill alone, the companies still get to negotiate against it. So if that happens, the union representatives
But that was
should be able to negotiate anything else after that too.
Yeah, that was in the 7 days was in a separate vote, and you know all the 43 Republicans voted against it.
As usual.
It was 52 to 43 vote. You know, the Senate rejected 7 days and a paid leave for rail workers and half. Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So if they get that what they was asking for, I'm cool.
And
with
see,
it.
Joe Manchin is struck again because Joe Manchin voted against the 7 days of paid sick leave.
He did that in Virginia. He did it against the bill that had it in it.
But see,
I think they tried to pass a bill in the Senate before it had that in it.
Manchin, West Virginia is coal country, and coal country needs the rail system because that is how coal travels.
That's true.
So Manchin is not going to vote against anything or for anything that's basically going to shut coal down in West Virginia. That's not happening.
No.
So you can forget about him. He's not voting for 7 days of sick leave, in which that should, especially in an industry like coal, but we talking about the railroad workers.
Yeah.
You know.
Shouts out to the railroad workers, man, that stood up there and went on strike, knowing, you know what I'm saying, right at the right time, when during Christmas, put their motherfucking balls to the fire. I like it. Whoever their union representative and whatever union is doing the railroads, y'all doing a good ass job. Keep this shit up. And Biden, you better not be a slick motherfucker.
But nah, it sounds like they basically got basically got what they wanted, because the whole sticking point the whole time was the 7 days of sick leave.
Yeah,
which they still got the opportunity to go back, because this is only temporary to keep the rail industry going,
so they won't strike.
right. But at some point you got to negotiate in good faith, and they gotta have and this gotta run out, because they gotta have that hammer. You can't take that hammer from them.
Be honest with you, I still just strike, right? Because I don't know. I will hold if Congress step in. Hold on, let me let Cap in. What it do, Cap? What's going on with you? Hold on. My bad, I muted you.
Oh,
What's going on with you,
brothers, thank you so much for having me, man.
What's good?
Arthur. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna talk about that book too.
Trying to make it do what it do, you know?
Yeah, Arthur, the show.
You know,
Police reform.
got a lot of eyes in the fire, if you will.
Now I don't know if you've been following the railroad industry situation they have or not. Which you've been following that?
I have not. What's going on with that? What's going on?
Yeah, so railroad industry itself was going to strike, but Congress stepped in to give a tentative agreement. Do you agree with Congress stepping in after they voted to strike as a union?
Man, I think that this government is all about finances and making sure everything continues to run smoothly. Mm-hmm. And when there's certain industries that we now know are vital to national defense, railroad industry is one of them.
There's
one. The automotive industry, a few years ago when they bailed out.
That's another one.
They bailed out the
Yeah, and so those three industries, we probably name some more, but they're not going to let them fail, because that helps our national defense. So I haven't been following the story. I just pulled it up on New York Times. I am going to check it out. But yeah, that's crazy. But it's not surprising that they're going to do what they got to do in order to keep the economy going. People got to get paid. The people got to get from one point to another. We can't let things decline. All that kind of stuff. So it's
now. Like I was telling the number one soul brother earlier, that like I was in the union, I was in the representative, I worked in the union, you know what I'm saying?
You know,
I understand.
we were shop stewards at the same
I
time.
understand the plight of needing a strike. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because that's your last hammer, right? That's all you have left is striking. If you strike at the right times, is the key point. Now, if you're a railroad industry, striking in Christmas and Thanksgiving, New Year's, it's the right time. You know what I'm saying? So you force their hand ASAP, right?
But see,
So
railroad.
hold on.
Go ahead.
The only thing I don't like is by the workers using their last stand, right, and forcing the hand of the company, which is going to buckle. They had no other choice, right? The Congress steps in, I think, too early. They didn't let the strike hurt the company yet. You know what I'm saying? They didn't let what the workers voted for hurt them yet. They just jumped in ASAP when they called for strike. You feel me? I think that was a little too premature. But on the other hand, I agree with his thinking of keeping the economy moving and get them what they want. But if he don't get them what they want, he stopped the strike and they get less than what they asked for, that's a problem.
I agree, but see, the thing about that is to shut down, to let the railroad industry shut down. It affects so much.
Hey,
as Cap was saying, right? As Cap said, for one, it affects national security.
They should have gave it to him.
And number two, and it's probably they first thinking on the first thing they thought about was it's gonna if the rail system shuts down and you cannot move product or commerce comes to is really affected, that you cannot move product and you cannot move services from one end of the country to the other into the Midwest and to places that affects Wall Street.
So
the threat of a strike, the threat of a strike affects Wall Street, because that means numbers gonna get projections and all of this futures and shit gonna get fuzzy. So that's what they don't want at a time when the economy is in a fragile state. So I think that more than anything else caused them to jump in and say, look, we're gonna negotiate this, blah blah blah. But I agree totally. You cannot take that strike hammer from them. If you do that, you're dead wrong, because eventually you have to go back to the negotiating table, and they have to have that in that one chip in their pocket that look, we'll walk out, you shut this thing down, and you're gonna have to bring in scabs, which ain't gonna work.
Exactly.
So
exactly, that's what I mean, Cap. They just took away what they had. You know what I'm saying? But if they're gonna make it better and give them what they was asking for, like you said, the injury is so important. They should have had this anyway. You feel what I'm saying? Sick leave and pay, you know what I'm saying? Pay leave and stuff like that. Why would they have that any fucking way? And why would they fight it when they ask for it? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel, Cap. I don't know. How you feel?
Yeah, I was just checking out a few of the articles. So scheduling is a new thing, a newer thing. I shouldn't say new, but it's a newer thing going with this new generation, right? Mm-hmm. Millennials are really digging into scheduling. They want to live personal life. They want to go on vacation. They want to work less hours and all that type of thing. And so that is becoming a huge problem that people in Gen X and previous generations didn't really deal with. I mean, they just kind of just took it, where they took what was given to them. So they make pretty decent money. Of course, everybody wants more money, especially with the economy the way that it is. But from the articles I'm checking out right now, the scheduling is a big thing. And I know I'm writing, I'm in my dissertation work for my what I got going on. And I'm writing about a lot of millennials. They don't care about, working these police jobs if they can't get the weekends off. Well, that's not the way it goes. So scheduling is a huge thing for the millennials and other people, right? And their mental health, their physical health. Nobody wants to work 30 years anymore and then drop dead 2 years later. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. They want to enjoy their life.
These people don't want to work 30 days.
And then again, I think after COVID, it make people realize that some of those situations forced them to have to go to work because they didn't have sick leave. You know what I'm saying? Then that made them spread the shit, really.
But see, I'm reading here on Forbes, and it sounds like the workers got basically most of what they wanted, but the sticking point is, and the thing is, the issue is the 7 days of sick leave, which they didn't get. They only got one. So
so that's a big thing, and COVID changed the world as far as workforce attendance. How many more people were working from home and said, I don't ever want to go back to the office. I don't want to have to buy coffees anymore. I get to spend more time with my kids. I'm not spending 2 hours of commute every day. They don't want to go back. So that becomes a huge thing. And so now, like you said, these railway workers, I'm sure, were essential workers. They had to work through this stuff. We don't care if you're sick. You got to come here and get this stuff done. So that changed a lot, and their wives and their girlfriends or whatever working. They may have had to go to the office, but now they're working from home permanently. And I got to hustle and bustle to get to work, cold, rain, snow, sleet, whatever, going through overstate, staying overnight, risking derailment, getting
that ain't cool.
scoring at me, throwing at me, all this kind of stuff. And I'm getting peanuts, and I can't call out a certain amount of days to get sick. Oh, no. It's not worth it anymore.
You need those days no matter what. Yeah. Most jobs had point systems where you came this day and stuff like that. And if you're sick, they don't have that in that. You know what I'm saying? Just that's a point if you don't come. So that make people come to work when they got runny noses, their throat hurt, and all type of shit. They come to work anyway because that's gonna give them a point. You know what I'm saying? You get too many points, you fired.
Yeah, it's disciplinary. You're getting disciplined for this, right? And like you said, you got COVID going on and the flu, and my kids are sick, and my mom is sick, and I got to check on her. I got to bring people to the hospital, and now I can't. And that was, I remember when I was in the police union too, and we finally had to fight, just like women's rights for maternity leave and all that, so you wouldn't get fired or demoted and it wouldn't hurt you. So we had to fight for the same thing. And during my time, and that was not only for the men to be able to get the paternity leave, when you have a
that's true. Yeah, we had that in our job too.
But also sick leave that you could take care of other persons, right? Normally when you call out sick, it's because I'm sick. But what if my kids are sick, right? So now you could apply your sick days to your kids, to your wife, to your parents, to take care of them because they're sick, and who's going to take care of them, right? So all that type of flexibility matters.
You made a good point because we added on parents. Like when we used to work, me and him used to work in Smithfield Packard, it's a warehouse, hams and meats and shit.
Meat processing plant.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? It happened there too, the same way. It's like when we negotiated for the days, we got no, you know what I'm saying? Then we forced to strike. We eventually we almost had to strike completely, you know what I'm saying? But I can understand where they're coming from when you need that day. You need at least one day where you could just take it off and don't get fired. You know what I'm saying? Now, Cap, it's something we be doing on the show, right? We go back in time, right? We go back in the day of today. You know what I'm saying? Whatever day this is. The day is December 1st.
December 1.
And we go back in Black History
2022
and see what happened today. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Today, we went into Black History. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen something real special that happened December the 1st. And we're going to get to it right after this right here.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Now, as you can see, we go back in time and check out Black History in the day. Now, today, number one soul brother gonna let you know what happened today.
See, today was the day one Miss Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white man.
What's today?
And it basically, the day was the day that really set off the movement, the civil rights movement. So this is the day, we honor Miss Rosa, and because that was real, it was real brave what she did, and it was a necessary spark, to get Dr. King and others at the time, to get the move, kick the movement in full gear, because it's I even think about it, that was 67 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just had a situation or argument or a back and forth about Jerry Jones, and that happened 65 years ago.
True.
So it goes to show you, no matter how long ago, things still have effect on society, on people as a whole. And if it wasn't for this little lady right here, ain't no telling, where we would be at as a society, right now. So
Rosa Parks.
So we're gonna give a shout out to Miss Rosa Parks today.
Now,
because she sat down, we stood up. You dig?
Yeah. Now, her real name was Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks. She was born in 1913, and she died in 2005. You know what I'm saying? She was an activist, a civil rights movement. She was best known for exactly what my man just said, the boycott of Montgomery bus cart. You know what I'm saying? That was an important part of the movement, like he just said. You know what I'm saying? That was real important to the civil rights movement. Rosa Parks was like one of the symbols of the movement, along with MLK and most of the prominent figures. Like we always let y'all know on this podcast, there was plenty of other people that suffered and went through certain things. Also, the Arkansas that was trying to get into schools. That's a prime example right there. Yeah.
Little Rock 9.
Little Rock 9. So that's a prime example of black people all over America, even ones that you're not known of.
But
Rosa Parks is one of the ones that everybody know about. Now, I'm glad to go into depth of Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? On December the 1st.
Yeah. And we gotta understand, and we gotta understand this and realize this too. That most of the major turning points in any movement, it wasn't started by somebody that was well known or a leader of the group or whatever. It's always somebody,
That
it was ordinary person.
Yeah.
And she was a ordinary lady that got off from work, and her feet hurt. She was tired. Her feet hurt.
Yeah, no.
I ain't getting up, man. My feet hurt.
Like, who you talking to? Like,
right. But in any movement, it's always, a lesser known or just an ordinary person, that really set it off, Like it's same thing that goes today in Black Lives Matter. Nobody really knew who George Floyd was, or nobody knew who Trayvon Martin is, and they wasn't well-known figures out here. To the Terry Rices of the world, they wasn't well known, but their story and their lives are what really the spark that set off the movement. So,
most definitely.
Those of y'all out there that think you don't matter and think that your story, ain't worth telling, think again.
What you think, Cap? Well, Rosa Parks.
Yeah, I certainly am glad that she, as you mentioned, sat down so we could stand up, and her sacrifice, her ambition to be a part of the civil rights movement just helped spark and draw attention to the civil rights movement is well appreciated. I appreciate it greatly. And I appreciate all of the matriarchs and patriarchs of the civil rights movement who were able to, who faced great detriment and fear and anger towards them and fear for their lives in order to do what they knew what was right and would be in the best interest of us, the future generations. So I'm glad they did it, man. And thank you to all of them. Thank you to all of them.
Most definitely.
Right on, right on.
Most definitely. And that's back in the day. For the day right there, bro. For sure. Black in the day.
In the day.
You know? Rosa Parks, shouts out to her for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, it's something happened today that was real, what's the name to me, right? I don't know if that's today or yesterday morning. But LeBron James stepped out and said something in the press conference the other day that got me. It caught my ear a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something normal, right? Now, everybody know, at the beginning, I was a LeBron fan. Now, I'm not really a LeBron fan as a basketball player, right?
What?
So, he been fell off for me.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? But that's another story for a sports podcast. I'm going to leave that alone. You know? But sometimes I criticize him for not using his platform for certain situations. You know what I'm saying? He pick and choose his certain things he talk about. You know what I'm saying? Which I give him that. You know what I'm saying? He can do what he want. You know.
Let him step in. He do a lot of he voiced his opinion on a lot of social matters. I give him that. Maybe not every social matter, but really that ain't his job. But on a lot of social matters, he does step up.
Like he had to get pushed to say something about Kyrie getting the 10 steps. It's a 10-step treatment to come back. You know what I'm saying? He had to get pushed to say something about that. But over the weekend, he stopped the press conference to talk to the press conference and the press people in LA. I don't know if you heard this, Tom. You heard this, Cap?
Oh, I heard it. I heard it this morning.
And
I watched the video this morning. Yeah.
Okay, good. So everybody know where I'm coming from, man.
Yeah.
So in the video, I'm listening to him when they was talking about something else, right? And he stopped. I guess it was at the end of the press conference, right?
Yeah, it was at the end because he dropped the mic on him. And
proceeded to, how can I put that right there?
To check these people.
Put it like this. This is not normal for him. Put it like this. I'm not normally seeing him do this, right? To willingly go out his way, right? To talk about something that we all know as Black people, right? But bring it up on his own. You know what I'm saying? Like the people not asking him about it. So he bring it up on his own. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about this? Which, I don't know how you feel about that, Captain. You already seen it too, so. How you feel about him, LeBron James, right? Like, nobody asking him about Jerry Jones, you know? Anybody don't know, he had a press conference earlier where he expressed his feelings of nobody asking him about Jerry Jones' picture that we talked about a couple of days ago. So I just want to know how you feel, Cap, about him stopping the press conference to where at the end of the press conference to express that something that they were not even talking about, but put it into the frame of things. What do you think about that?
I think that he handled himself very professionally. I think that he saw the hypocrisy of what was going on. I think that he saw the intentions and, having sat in the media and listened to the questions that came at him and watching the questions that other professional athletes have had to field across the years, he's put two and two together and said, this is unfair. And if you're going to press me about Kyrie Irving and other issues of race, why aren't you pressing me about this one? And so I think it was well done. As the number one soul brother says, he dropped the mic on him and then left. That's what he did the right thing. I think that he handled himself well professionally. He didn't, we know as Black men, not only do we have to be tactful in what we're saying, we have to be tactful in how we're saying it. And so he did both of those, and I'm glad that he did it. He brought attention to it. And of course, the reporters know what they're doing. They're intentionally asking questions to get sound bites and antagonize that. So he gave him something to to talk about.
Yeah. So if anybody ain't heard it, we'll hear a little
Question
bit
from
of
you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about it. Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watch Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened, okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
Come on.
Now, me personally, right? I don't like athletes doing this right here. I don't like athletes doing this stuff because when they hit your ass with something you don't want to talk about, then I want to talk basketball. You feel me? I'm here for NBA. I'm here for the basketball. Like once you go into that, now the next press conference, and they start asking you stuff you don't want to talk about, then what? You know what I'm saying?
You got to talk about it
You
because you open the door.
I don't like that. Same thing with Kaepernick. I didn't like the fact that Kaepernick used NFL to make this statement, right? Once he leave the NFL, he don't make any more statements. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why you just use the NFL for that? You know what I'm saying? Why use that? I don't think athletes should use the platform of wherever they at to do these things. I don't think Muhammad Ali used the press conference for stuff like this. He had his own press conference. Had nothing to do with the fight and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they using this, just me personally, right? I don't like athletes that use themselves like that because you leaving yourself open now, right? For everything political. Then you're gonna just want to talk basketball then, you feel me?
But
same thing with Kyrie. He learned the hard way. That political stuff is not nothing, that's not basketball. You know what I'm saying? Right. And once they start asking about that, you ain't gonna want to do that. You want to talk basketball again. And once they get in LeBron about some of this stuff deeper, he gonna be hurt. He gonna start talking about basketball.
He gonna have to because he opened the door.
Exactly.
But if that's your platform, and that's where you got the most eyes on you. Whereas, you're gonna get your message out to the most people at one time, which is what he really wanted to do, because what he was doing was he was calling out the media for the double standard.
True.
Now,
no, I agree with what he's saying.
Yeah, but if you're gonna call out whatever platform he gonna get, that's gonna have as many media people and as many eyes looking on him as that one right there. So if you're gonna call out the media, and that was a place to call him out, because a lot of the times that he get the questions that he get about Kyrie, this, that, and the third, where do he get it? In these press conferences. So, okay, I'm gonna come back on you. We in the same setting. So why y'all ain't asking me about this?
Yeah, but they didn't.
Why you didn't ask me about
it up?
Right, but why you didn't? You didn't ask me about Kyrie.
True.
You didn't ask me about this one. True. Okay, when y'all gonna want my opinion on that? But when you gonna want my opinion on Jerry Jones? When are you gonna ask me for my opinion on Brett Favre? So when are you gonna do that?
He should have went on his Instagram or his Facebook Live. I guarantee you would say the exact same thing. The same thing would have happened. But he used a press conference. So once they start asking all that stuff, which is going to happen, then he start saying he want to talk about basketball.
He got to answer because he opened. I would suspect, and I guess that he realized that, okay, once I do this, I'm opening up a door that this going to come back, and I'm gonna have to answer.
Yeah.
So if he don't realize that, then something wrong. But I suspect that he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was saying. He knew where he was saying it, and he know what's going to be the feedback off of it. Somebody's going to answer the question, and he already got the answer in his head of what he's going to say. He has an answer in his head. He know what he's going to say when asked. He just waiting for the person to ask him. But he didn't want him to ask him there after he said, well, why y'all didn't do this? Okay, now I put y'all on the spot. You want to ask me. So the next time, okay, put your thought into your question. What you want to know? I got something for you.
All right. Go ahead, Cap. You got something to say?
I hear your point about that, and I agree with Tony. I think that he had a prepared answer in case he was going to be asked, and he noticed that they didn't ask him, and so he came at them with the same energy that they wanted. To your point about using press conferences, the media started this when they're asking them about, hey, your friend got arrested for domestic. Your friend got arrested for DWI. What do you think about the Colin Kaepernick situation? What do you think about the Star Spangled Banner? Should we play it? Should we not? When they're asking you these political type of questions and questions outside of your expertise of dribbling and shooting a basketball, then let's keep it there. But if we want our athletes, and I hear this argument all the time, if we want our athletes just to talk about it, then let's just to talk about their professional skill set, then keep it there. Don't ask hockey players what they think about Donald Trump. Don't ask tennis players what they think about politics. Don't ask anyone about anything other than what it is. They started this, and now that they started it, okay, I noticed, and now I have a prepared answer, probably LeBron James. Now you don't want to ask me about it. And why don't you want to ask me about it? Why don't you want to ask me about it? Oh, because it's an old, rich white guy? Rather versus a younger, less rich black dude. This is hypocrisy.
He had. I didn't think about him. Already had something prepared.
He definitely had something.
He ready for him. He ready. Believe that. That's why he said, I don't want y'all to even say nothing right now. He said, I don't want y'all to say nothing right now. I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying. Y'all question me about this, that, and the third. Okay, which is outside of basketball. They always question him about political stuff, about social issues, this, that, and the third. Okay, this with Jerry Jones is political and social. And then you got this, but they burning it under the rug. The Brett Favre issue, they is burning that like a mug.
Did they ask him about Brett Favre? He should have said that too. You didn't ask me about Brett Favre. I don't know if they did or not.
They ain't never asked him about Brett Favre.
No, they ain't asked about Brett Favre, but they're asking about Kyrie. They're asking about this, that, and the third.
That Brett Favre stuff crazy, bro.
So, what he's saying is basically, if certain things you want, if certain things you want my opinion on, now it's saying there's certain things you don't want my opinion on. But if you want my opinion on this, you should also want my opinion on that. If you want to know what I think about this, why you don't want, if Kyrie tweeted something, a link to a movie that, some people, with Jewish people or a lot of people consider anti-Semitic, and you want my opinion on that, why you don't want a picture of, my opinion or what I feel about a picture, a real live picture of Jerry Jones. I don't care what age he was. I don't care how long he was. It was a real live picture of Jerry Jones and a group of white students blocking this doorway to a school for 6 black students who was trying to integrate that high school at the time. They came there for education. Now, if you're going to ask me about this, ask me about that. And I got something to say to you about that, but you don't want to hear that. But when it come up again, believe me, it's going to come up in a one-on-one interview. He's going to light them up.
And y'all made me realize that he had some canned shit ready to go. They never
Right.
Oh yeah.
He had it for a couple of days, and he been itching. He was like, "Oh, give it up, yeah. Please ask me."
That's crazy. Yeah. But everybody don't know now. Once everything changed, we had votes in the Congress. Everybody know that, right? January, everything gonna switch. We're gonna get new players in the Senate, new players in the Congress, right? And Pelosi is no longer gonna be speaker. First of all, let me hear about what you think about Pelosi. I never know you about how you feel about Pelosi, though.
I don't have any problems with Pelosi. I don't know what the anger was towards her. I don't get any of that. I mean, I never understood it. It just seems to
He
me
didn't take no
to
bull
be
off of them. That's what it
partisan
was.
politics.
So she'll no longer be the speaker no more. McCarthy will take over in January. He's a Republican.
Okay.
And we're gonna profile him Tuesday. But that's something else to talk about later. But once everything changed over, it's going Nancy Pelosi has stepped down as a leader too. So not only is she not going to be the speaker, she's not going to be a Democratic leader. So she handed those reins off to Hakeem. Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know if you know about him, Cap.
I know a little bit.
He's a
I
Democrat.
haven't followed his career, but I'm actually surprised he hasn't run for Senate and tried. I think he would have won by now, and then tried to move up to try to be VP or even go for president. I'm really kind of surprised at that. He's done a little bit, from what I understand. I haven't followed his career 100%.
Yeah, he about to be third in line. He about to be third in the line of succession.
Yeah, so this might have him go for Senate, and and really kind of.
I think he should stay there, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, right? You got my girl Camilla in there, right? If she was to run for president, or just stay there, right? 2 years from now, once they go up for Congress to vote again, we can mess around with the first black speaker. You understand that? You know how close this is to being a black speaker
You
and a
got that
black
in 2 years.
vice president? Huh?
Yeah, you got that in 2 years.
So
Because
this is not, first of all, he the first black leader.
the house
ever.
is that close.
He's the first black leader ever in Congress. For anybody don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all know that now. That's history to be made. Now, he's set up, though, to be speaker. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So 2 years from now, we can mess around. He could be the speaker, a black speaker of the House. Cap, what you think about that?
I think some people are going to be upset. I think if we didn't see what happened with January 6th, man, I mean, there's a lot of people who still don't think that we should be where we're at, and we're moving too fast, and we're taking over, and they're worried about their number. There's still a segment of the population that's out there, and you talk about whatever Kamala Harris, although I don't think she's going anywhere else, quite honestly. She'll probably just go off into the sunset.
Yeah, I don't think she. I don't think
You think she running for president?
No.
She might run. She's not going to win. That would be a guaranteed. That would be a guaranteed win for the Republicans if she won. Guaranteed.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Because
she's not going to win.
she's popular among Democrats.
Yeah,
but
I think she's kind of
she's hated just as much as Nancy Pelosi.
She's like she's polarizing. She's kind of polarizing like Hillary, but she's not polarizing it to the level of that Hillary was.
Because hers are decades,
right? Because even Hillary, with Hillary, you could stand Hillary or you couldn't stand Hillary. But
yeah,
as far
I didn't
as
get that either, honestly, but whatever. Yeah,
as far as Jeffries go, here's an example of what I've been. For anybody that's been watching this podcast, I've said it really since the beginning. The Democrats, it is time for them to put some new blood out front.
So we got a black leader. So that's
so now,
that's good.
That's the beginning. And then you put them out there. You put some new blood, some new black blood, if you will. You put it out there in a really a very, very high profile position.
Yes.
Very, very high profile. He's third in line. So if somebody killed the president, somebody killed the vice president at the same time, he the man.
That's not something we wishing to happen.
We ain't wishing that to happen, but I'm saying that's what it's set up for. That's what the line of succession is set up for.
And we can get Biden hurt and then him step in and we got Camilla and him. Yes,
like I say, they needed to put some new blood out front. It was time for Pelosi. She's not giving up her seat, but it's time for her to step aside because it's a new generation, and you got
Is Republicans doing this generation change thing?
Nah, they're not gonna do it.
Oh yeah,
They doing it.
Oh, they're trying to. I mean, you got how many people believe in that QAnon and we're running and all this other kind of crazy stuff. So I mean, they got to fight off the crazies too. Yeah. And I think that Ron DeSantis would consider himself part of the new blood. I mean, I think that they're gonna. Yeah, I think that they're gonna listen to what's going on and try to appeal to different groups. I'm gonna tell you why. They just passed that there was a bipartisan bill for the LGBT. Bipartisan passed for gay marriage.
Hey, but the only problem is that's Democrats running that. Of course they're gonna. It's going bad.
It still has some Republicans voting for it.
But see, this is
wouldn't did that 10 years ago. It would have been 100% no.
This is the thing with Republicans. Republicans right now are having an identity crisis. You got Trump Republicans, you got old school Republicans, you got DeSantis on one end, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene on another end.
Yeah,
and you got all of these factions within the Republican Party, and then half of them, and then most of it right now is turning on each other.
No. All right, so they running. If you look at it right here, right, you got Trump running, right?
Right.
You got Santos going to run.
He's going to run. Yet, right? Larry Hogan's going to run.
You got the vice president running, right?
Yep.
You got Kanye.
President Easy.
So you got. Now think about that thing. You got the vice president.
You got Pence crowd.
Pence going to run.
Pence, they told you Pence was running. You kept telling me, man, Pence ain't gonna run.
He keep telling me running.
Pence is running.
Yeah, he gonna run.
Pence is gonna run. DeSantis is gonna run. Trump is gonna run.
I don't think Sanchez is running.
DeSantis is running.
I don't think he's running, Cap.
Believe that. DeSantis is running
for president.
Yes. Watch.
I ain't got him doing it.
You're gonna have actually vote for DeSantis. You're gonna have Pence. You're gonna have Trump, and you're gonna have Larry Hogan to start with.
Hogan?
Yes. You want to have Larry Hogan.
You say he's running for president?
Yes, he's running for president.
Oh, get out of here.
Larry Hogan been setting himself up to run for president for the last 4 years.
Nah, you know what that is, Cat?
Governor I'm Googling right now, man.
Governor Maryland.
Larry Hogan is running.
Larry Hogan. Yeah. He's a Republican.
You can bet your last dollar on that.
He's a Republican though, right? He's barely
a Republican.
He's a Republican, but he leans Democrat.
He leans Democrat. Yeah.
You can't help it because he got a Democrat House and a Democrat Senate in Maryland. He's not gonna get nothing passed without it.
None of that matters. When he runs as a Republican,
what's gonna happen is the Republican is gonna come out of him as it did in his second term.
No, it's not gonna work because
he's gonna cry that he was that. Well, I was a Republican governor in a deep blue state, and I worked with others across the aisle to get things done because you had no choice but to work with others across the aisle.
All right, but that ain't gonna work in this cycle right here. You doing some Democratic stuff just because you got Trump in it.
Yeah, because they're going to throw that at him.
Okay, that ain't gonna make you just a person that want to work across the aisle. That makes you a rhino, as far as he's concerned, or somebody that ain't supposed to be in Republican Party. So you will be done.
But look, I don't think Trump is going to get the nomination.
Rogan done. He can forget it. We talking about you got.
I'm not saying he's going to get the nomination. He's going to run, but he's not going to get the nomination.
Right, he done. He can forget anybody that's going to vote type of Democratic stuff. They done.
Trump not going to get the nomination.
Sheesh,
Trump not getting the nomination.
Who gonna get it?
I'm telling you, somebody else.
DeSantis is good.
DeSantis is not running.
I'm telling you, DeSantis is running.
Bruh, to run against Trump, you're not just running for president. Your whole family is on display now. You got running around. Hold on. Your nephews, your uncles, your nieces, everybody is on display once he get on the front of that mic, bruh. And once he get in front of that mic, he gonna put it in display like he did. What's his name? From Texas. Talk about his wife. Then he went on another dude, talk about their grandmother. And they drops out. Yeah. You don't want that, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Cap,
that's the price. That's the price you got. That's the price you got to pay. That's the price you got to pay.
About running against Trump. It ain't easy, bro.
I think they know what Trump is capable of, and I think that they certainly want. They don't have a problem with the smoke. The other ones, it was such a surprise. Ted Cruz and was the other dude from Florida?
Oh, man,
Rubio. They weren't able to handle it.
Rubio wasn't ready.
I think everybody's ready now for Trump and what he's going to do, give, the smoke he's going to give. They'll practice in their practice runs about how to handle him and all that kind of foolishness I think it'll be okay.
The
Trump was a
right
one-time
now,
phenomenon that people will catch on to, and they'll be ready for him next time. So that's what I think.
Yeah, and the thing is this: right now, the Republican establishment is really, really, really trying to distance themselves from Trump, and as far as they're concerned, anybody but Trump, because they know they can't win with Trump. The last 2-3 elections, which basically Trump was on the ballot in the presidential election, and then in the midterms is Trumpism was on the ballot, and they lost. So
before you get out, before I let you go, Cap, that point about the Republican Party, right? I'm starting to notice that most of the people in the Republican Party are dominated by the MAGA Party. We're not talking about the Republican Party as Americans. We're talking about the Republican Party as in Congress and Senate. That's the key point, right? Because most Republicans just in America is not MAGA. You know what I'm saying? But you got those MAGA people in Congress representing Republicans. So that makes them the Republican Party. So all the things that they want done are extreme. You know what I'm saying? To any American. You know what I'm saying? Let alone some Republicans too. Some of this stuff is too much for them. You know what I'm saying? So Republicans to me have a decision to make, right? Are we going to do the Bush Republican, right? Or we looking for another screaming, fire, burning out the head Trump type candidate, or Trump himself?
That's what DeSantis is.
Nah, he ain't one.
Yes, he is.
He's not one.
Check him out.
So what you saying? He's the Bush joint, or he the fire his head?
I think he's the perfect combination. He believes a lot of things that Trump believes, but he's more calm in his delivery. Right. So he's the best of both worlds. Remember, he didn't want to wear a mask. He fought against that kind of stuff. He took on Disney with this whole "don't say gay" bill and all this kind of stuff. Even though that's what people were calling it, but that's not what it actually was. So he articulated what it was, and I remember him going back and forth with reporters saying, "Where does it say that in the bill? Where does it say don't say gay bill? Where are you just making this up? You're trying to smear this. This is not what this is." So he put up something that was supportive of families, or traditional families, let's call it. And so he took on Disney Corporation and was willing to let them leave the state. Was anti-masking, anti-vaxxing, and all that kind of stuff. So he has a lot of Trumpian ideas. However, his delivery is a lot less problematic. Although he did say that thing about the other guy, Andrew Gilliam, whatever his name is, who was running. He did say that thing about "don't monkey this up" or something like that, which was offensive. So yeah, that's going to be a problem for him if he runs. That's going to be a problem.
Is Sanchez? He's not white though, right?
DeSantis.
He's Hispanic, right?
I don't know what his lineage. I don't
know where he is. But anyway, we're about to see in 2023 from 2023 to 2024 election, you're about to see a Republican civil war, because it's got to be on.
Yeah, about his name, I don't know if he just, because that's key to the Republican Party, bro. Like, I don't know if they're gonna run an Hispanic. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he looks. I mean, Ted Cruz is.
Man, he lost
Cuban or something, right?
Yeah,
he's Cuban. Sure. He's got some.
Once they found out about that shit, he just started falling down the tubes.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't listen. I think that he presents himself in a different way. So
one thing I don't like Trump, but far as campaigning, Obama can campaign with the best of them. I don't know how you feel about that, Cap.
As far as who campaigning?
Campaigning, Obama.
Yeah, I think he did a phenomenal job. He set the standard for how it should be done. He used social media.
Different from politics part of it. I'm talking straight campaign. You think it's a good campaign?
Right. I'm saying he set the standard for how it should be done using social media. He went after the young people. He went after kids on college campuses. He went after.
True.
Yeah, so he set the standard on how it's to be done in today's time. So
true. I do think that Trump is a good campaigner too, but
He's
He
a good fire
campaigned-
brand.
Nah,
He a good campaign,
I
bro,
think he
because he's speaking to people that listen to this, right? And he's speaking to them obviously clearly, right? So you can't say he's not a good campaign. He
you
got
can say
75
that.
million people to vote for.
You can say that,
So-
but I say he.
I just think his style of campaigning, he can campaign because he's charismatic, right? But I think he used his style to be slash and burn, though, instead of like Obama was hope and all that.
But that was always Trump's style.
But
was
still,
in your
he's still
face.
to me a good campaigner. But it's not
Yeah,
the same.
amongst the people.
I would say he's an effective
See,
campaigner.
what a good campaigner will do that Trump can't do. A good campaigner will bring you votes from in the middle, and he will bring you votes from the other side. And he would appeal to some on the other side and in that middle of the road.
Nah,
Trump can't do that. Either you love him or you hate him.
No, campaigning is drawing a stark difference between you and your opponent. And then while you're doing that, you rallying up your crowd. That's campaigning. So you can't tell me Trump doesn't do that. He give you a stark difference.
Well,
it be lies, but he give you a stark difference between him and the other opponent.
Your definition of campaigning is rallying. If you're talking about rallying, yeah, but it's more to campaigning than just rallying. You got to get out there and get your message across. When you are on when you are real live campaigning, you are not only appealing to the folks you have to keep them in your pocket,
Hold on.
but real live campaigning is to go out and get people that is in your pocket, that's not in your pocket.
Nah, that ain't got nothing to do with it.
It does. It's how you win elections.
Bro, he had all these Americans wearing MAGA hats, red hats, bro. What do you mean? He
Right there, but they was all on his side. Didn't people jump ship?
Bro.
Didn't people jump ship from the other side and put on a red hat?
None of
beside
that
Kanye?
matters. You don't know that. You rallying your people. That was campaigning is. It ain't talking about
Right,
people.
but you're not going to win
You
elections.
think it's trying to get other votes. It ain't gonna like your campaign or not. It ain't. That's not why you campaigning.
Are you gonna say? So you saying when Obama went out and campaigned, Obama didn't switch people from the other side?
That's not what the point was, though. The point was to rally your voters.
That's
got
why
your
you
voters.
Campaign. You got your voters.
Hold on. No, you don't.
You got your voters.
Hold on. Stop. You campaign. Why campaigning? Where you going out there? What you talking about?
Because you need
because you
that,
rallying
because
your
you
people,
want, because you got. Look, if Obama goes out there, without a doubt, Obama got Democrats. Without a doubt.
You got
without
stop
a doubt. If Trump goes out there, Trump got MAGA Republicans in his pocket.
All right, hold on. You're missing the point. The point is to rally those people.
Right.
What do you mean by rally? What's the definition of rally?
What is to get them enthused?
Hold on. You're not even. Hold on.
What's your definition of rally? What do you mean by rally?
When you got millions of people wearing a red hat, you don't rally people, bro. You got 75 million people voting for you. You rally people. What do you mean?
Okay, so they got the hat on, so they're already voting.
Democrats. You didn't rally none.
That's why he didn't win.
That didn't matter.
That's why he didn't win a second time.
That's not the point I'm making.
Because he didn't switch nobody from the other side, and people left.
That's not the point, though, Cap. The point I'm trying to make is he's a good campaigner
amongst his people.
Who cares?
Because it matters. Because if he had more than just his own people, and he could have got more people that from down the middle, more independents, or he could have converted some more Democrats that because it is some Democrats. You got conservative Democrats out here. You got some Democrats. They one way on social issues. They liberal on social issues, but on the economy and stuff like that, they're conservative. So you can get these people. He couldn't get these people. If he could have got these people, he would have won a second term. Everybody say he got 75 million people. That was cool. But Biden got more than that because he beat him in the popular vote.
That's not saying anything, bro. You're not telling me that.
I'm saying.
Hold on, stop.
Go ahead.
That's not telling me that Trump is not a good campaigner. You telling me that person
got
more votes doesn't mean anything.
I'm not saying that he's not a good campaigner. What I'm saying is he's a good campaigner amongst his supporters.
Okay. That's what campaigning is.
But he need more than his supporters to win elections.
That's not the point, though. He campaigning. You rallying your people, bro. That's what the point of it. You
But
organize.
he's not good enough to get other people, to get the independents and the other people.
All right, you made that point.
That's all I'm
All
saying.
right, you made that point. But you gotta listen to what I'm trying to tell you. When you rallying, campaigning, you campaigning to rally your supporters, bro. That's your whole point of this. Get them riled up to vote. And at the same time, draw a stark contrast between you and that clown you're running against. That's what campaigning is for. You cannot tell me Trump don't do those two things.
But if you are,
Hold on.
go ahead,
Cap.
because I don't agree with that.
You made your point.
I agree with Tony. I think that campaigning has two functions. Number one, to solidify your people, as you've mentioned, Rabbit, that you're going to make sure that these people are going to, in fact, vote for you. Not that they just got the hat on, but ensure that they're going to actually go out to the polls and vote. You also have to push your message, which here's why you should vote for me. And in pushing your message and telling people why they should vote for you, you have to pull from the other side. There are essentially there's three different types of voters in the United States. You have those who are solidly Democratic. It's like 31% of the voting population is solidly Democratic. They vote in Democratic type of stuff, right?
31, I think 31,
and I think the Republicans are 29 to 30%, something like that. So, but the other 40% are independents. They're the Green Party. They're what's the other one? Whatever the other. There's other smaller parties that nobody ever talks about, right? So there's so you have to pull from those. And I'm a registered independent, so you have to get me to side with you, and you have to pull some Democrats. That's how you win elections. So the purpose of campaigning is to I'll call it what you're saying, rally up your base, make sure that they're fired up and going to vote. And you have to pull from a few Democrats, and you have to pull the majority of independents. That's what you're going out there talking from different cities and doing all that. Now, he did a masterful job the first time, but the second time, because of the stuff he did while he was in office, the 45,000 lies he told, that's what cost him the election. That's why he lost it, because those people who originally voted for him chose not to vote for him the second time. That's why he lost.
First campaign, what was that?
I agree with you. The first time he campaigned, he was able to take a lot of independents, take a lot of Republicans, take a lot of Democrats, and pull them to his side.
He's a good campaigner.
He was not affected the second time.
He was a better campaigner than Bush. I think he's better campaigner than Reagan.
Bush won the second term.
Hell no, with Reagan.
That doesn't mean that brother didn't even go.
What do you mean? He's not. You can say what you want about Reagan.
Bush didn't even go in a row, bro.
Wait a minute. You can say what you want about Reagan. And I got a lot to say about Reagan.
He's never campaigned.
Reagan is the only person that won 48 out of 50 states in his re-election. How the hell you gonna say he ain't a good campaigner? He won 48 out of 50 states.
That's cool.
Nobody did that.
He didn't campaign.
Nobody did that. Now Reagan was
saying he didn't campaign. How do you do? You do that by giving out your message, going to state to state, city to city, talking about your message.
48 out of 50. There's no way you can do that without campaigning.
Reagan didn't go nowhere. What do you mean?
How the hell, if he didn't go nowhere, how you win 48 out of 50? That's damn near impossible today.
So you telling me this man, Reagan?
Yes. Ronald Wilson Reagan. 3 6s. Yeah.
He did not.
The hell Reagan did?
You tripping, Cap.
Come on,
I
man.
appreciate you, though, Cap. Come in and enjoy. Hey, he ain't do that, though, bro.
Man, there's no way in hell you can win 48 out of 50. He won.
He was 40 years old.
No, he wasn't.
What do you mean?
He got the man.
President, he was 75 years old.
There is no way you can win 48 out of 50. That means that man won. He won Connecticut. He won Rhode Island. He won Maryland.
Ooh.
He won all these blue states in his re-election. There is no way in hell you can do that. And he was despised.
That doesn't matter, bro.
He was despised.
That don't mean he campaigned. What do you mean?
What he didn't say. If he didn't campaign and nobody got down with Reaganomics, Then you had that Rand Contra scandal. You had all of this, and that man still won 48 out of 50.
He still ain't campaign. All right, you think Clinton campaign?
Hell yeah, Clinton campaign.
They won the second term.
I'm listening to you though. Did he campaign that first term?
Yes, man.
Did he campaign that second term?
Yes. Do you think
All right, that's campaigning. Did Obama campaign?
in his office not going out from city to city? Is that what you think he did?
Reagan?
Reagan,
Yes, he did.
Bush 2, or
Reagan was in D.C. and never came to D.C. What do you mean?
What you
Oh,
how
my
was it in DC?
you go back and do some reading.
Come and visit anything. He got shot. See what I mean, bro?
You got to go back and do some reading. He definitely was
I was
there
here.
talking
I'm
to
living
people.
here.
I was here.
Only person that came in our hoods was motherfucking Bill Clinton.
No, that's not.
That
That's
was after Reagan.
that's
What do
that's.
you mean?
Look, there is no way you can win 48 out of 50
You
states.
still going back to that?
And
You can't name nobody who did it.
That don't.
He damn near had it. Reagan is the only president I know of, and I know in my lifetime period, that damn near had a clean sweep of all 50 states. He the closest one that but Obama didn't come close, and he set a record in this campaign,
None of that matters.
a record that Biden broke, and he didn't come close. Neither Bush came close. None of them came close to 48 out of 50.
You know where he was coming from? He was going behind. When he was coming behind,
Who was coming behind?
behind?
He came behind Jimmy Carter.
All right. Of course, he gonna get 49, 50. He's lucky he probably lost Georgia.
And that race was tight. When he beat Carter, it was
That
tight.
was some trash though.
It wasn't a
Cap,
landslide.
I appreciate you, man. Former police officer, you know what I'm saying, dog?
And we still haven't talked about the book.
Author for sure.
We'll talk about the book next
Reform.
time.
No, I want to go deeper into pre-reform extra because Republicans about to take over the country. We talk about that another time. But Cap, I appreciate you, bro. You know
Thank
what
you
I'm
for
saying?
having me, man.
And
Anytime.
lively discussions for the
Absolutely.
black culture. You know what I'm saying? Anybody new to here, this is number one soul brother right here.
Yes.
This is a former captain right here. You know what I'm saying? Arthur, check out his book, Police Reform. You know what I'm saying, dog? He'll give you his take on police reform from a police standpoint. You know what I'm saying, dog? Other than that, Cap, anything you want to say before you get out of here?
Thanks for having me on. You can get the book at lulu.com. Please just type in police reform to pick it up. I think it's on Amazon as well. So you help to feed my kids if you do that. So
You know?
probably next year I'm actually going to do a revision to it. So I got some stuff going on, going to do a revision to it, and just a lot more to talk about as far as where we come and where we're going and all that kind of stuff with police reform.
And some things have been done over the few years too that you might have to take off your list out of the book. You know?
Yeah. So that's why I want to do some revisions and see, what has been the effect so far. So do a little more academic search into, what has helped, what has hurt, with the state of police reform.
Up to 22, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Appreciate you a whole lot, player.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
No,
As you
this butthole didn't.
Who?
Kanye.
Oh my God, not him. Nah, we not even talking
Yeah.
about Kanye no more.
Oh my God.
He's a fool.
He just got a symbol for his 2024 campaign. Is a Jewish star with a Y and it says Ye 24. Dude, give it
What's
up.
going on with Antonio saying he's holding out or some shit? The feds.
Oh yeah, the feds in there trying to get ready to run up in that house because he didn't threaten to kill his baby mama.
He did that before too.
Yeah, but he didn't hit her in the head with a shoe.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not condoning that.
She done took a warrant out on him. They over there, ready to get that ass up out of there. He locked up in the house. I know Tom Brady cracking the fuck up right now.
Niggas got mental issues, bro. Especially this nigga.
For
Him,
real.
Kanye, they got mental issues.
Good Lord.
You know what I'm saying? Mental problems, but we're gonna go deep into that. What his issues is Tuesday, as we come in Tuesday for show. Each and every Tuesday night, Hoodview Politics. You know what I'm
This
saying, dog?
jackass. Yeah.
Sometimes we might sneak in. This is not even Tuesday. This might be a Thursday night. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
But appreciate Cap coming in.
He said, "Go fuck yourself, you Nazi."
You know,
Talking about politics coming from a view of the streets. You know what I'm saying, dog? We're not coming from professional view. We're not lawyers. None of that shit that's on TV. You know what I'm saying? We come straight from the hood. We the hood view. You know? Representation of black people. On the bench.